Welcome to a We Rise Project deep dive. This is something extra we put together for you from our weekly newsletter.
Great to be diving in.
Yeah, and today we're tackling a big one. I mean, it's a question that probably everyone asks when they start thinking about fitness, right?
Absolutely. Cardio or weights? Which one's actually better if, the goal is losing weight?
Exactly, and people often want that really simple black and white answer.
Yeah, they do. But it's just not that straightforward. So we're looking at an article by Victor Martinez-Renero today, and we're going to try and unpack the real story here.
Move beyond just one or the other.
Precisely. Because it's not just about the number on the scale.
Oh, definitely not. It's so easy to get fixated on that number, isn't it? But Martinez-Renero makes a great point, that number. It can be seriously misleading.
It really can. Because, well, your scale doesn't know if you're losing fat or muscle or, water weight even.
Right. And losing muscle usually isn't the goal when people talk about getting healthier or fitter long term.
Exactly. What we should be talking about, and what the article stresses, is body composition. The ratio of muscle to fat. That's a much better indicator of health.
Okay, so body composition, not just weight. But let's be clear, Martinez-Renero does say, and it's fundamental, right? For any weight loss, you do need that calorie deficit.
Oh, absolutely. That's the prerequisite. Exercise helps massively,
Yeah.
but the deficit has to be there. And getting some guidance from a nutrition expert, probably a very good idea.
Yeah, you can't just out-train a bad diet, fundamentally.
You really can't. So, okay, let's talk about the contenders. Cardio first.
Sure. So cardio, what are we talking about technically?
Well, it's basically those rhythmic, repetitive exercises, things that get your heart rate up and keep it there for a decent amount of time.
Like running, cycling, swimming, that kind of thing.
Exactly. And the big plus for weight loss, as Martinez-Renero points out, is pretty direct. You burn a good number of calories while you're doing it.
Right, the energy expenditure during the actual activity.
Yep. It helps create that calorie deficit we mentioned. I mean, your basal metabolic rate, just keeping the lights on, body-wise burns the most calories overall each day.
Sure, the energy you burn just existing.
Right. But cardio adds significantly to that daily total burn, makes hitting that deficit easier.
Okay, makes sense. Burning fuel on the go. So then what about strength training? Lifting weights, resistance bands, push-ups.
Right. Resistance training. Well, Martinez-Renero acknowledges it burns calories too. Definitely. Just maybe not quite as many during the session itself, minute for minute, compared to steady state cardio.
Because you have rest periods between sets and things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Your heart rate isn't usually sustained quite as high for the whole duration. But, and this is the really interesting part, strength training has these longer-term benefits for weight management. Two key ways, really.
Okay, I'm listening. What are they?
Well, first, the obvious one. You build muscle.
Right.
And the muscle tissue is just more metabolically active than fat tissue. It burns more calories, even when you're not doing anything.
So more muscle means your body's engine is kind of idling higher all day long, even when you're, watching TV.
That's a great way to put it, yes. And the second thing, which Martinez-Renero highlights, is something called EPOC.
EPOC. Okay, what's that stand for?
Excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. Fancy term, but basically it means your body keeps burning calories at a higher rate for a while after you've finished lifting weights.
Ah, the afterburn effect people talk about.
Precisely. Your body's working harder to recover, repair muscle tissue, get back to its resting state, and that takes energy, calories.
And didn't the article mention some research on this? Something about comparing it to cardio's total burn.
Yeah, it did. He referenced a study in the Research Quarterly for Exercise and Sport. It suggested that because of this EPOC, strength training might actually increase your total daily calorie expenditure more than a comparable cardio session.
Wow, okay, so even if it burns fewer calories during the hour, the effect afterwards could tip the balance for the whole day.
That's what the research indicated, yeah. It's a really key point. The benefit isn't just in the gym session.
Fascinating. Okay, so we have cardio for the immediate burn, strengths for the metabolic boost, and afterburn. What about HIIT? High-intensity interval training? Martinez-Renero brings that up too.
He does. HIIT's kind of exploded in popularity, hasn't it?
It feels like it.
And it's basically those really short, sharp bursts of super intense effort, followed by, brief rest or maybe some very low-intensity movement.
Like sprints on a bike, then slow pedaling, then sprint again.
Exactly like that. And the appeal, weight loss-wise, is that it kind of gives you potentially the best of both worlds.
Yeah, so.
Well, during those intense bursts, your heart rate skyrockets. You burn a lot of calories very quickly, similar to intense cardio.
Okay.
And Because it's so intense, it also triggers a pretty significant EPIC effect afterwards. That afterburn we just talked about with strength training. You get that with HIIT too.
So big calorie burn during plus calorie burn after, and usually in less time.
Yeah, that's the promise. Martinez-Renero positions it as potentially very time efficient. You get cardiovascular benefits and that metabolic boost.
Sounds like the perfect solution then. Is there a downside?
Well, yes. And it's a really important one he raises. HII is hard. It's very demanding on your body.
Right, high intensity means high stress on the system.
Exactly. And if you overdo it, try to do HII every single day, or push too hard when you're not recovered, you run into problems.
Like what?
Overtraining, basically. Your recovery suffers, you can't actually hit those high intensities anymore, and your risk of injury goes way up. It needs to be programmed smartly. It's not a magic bullet you can just fire off daily.
Okay, that's a crucial caveat. So we've looked at the mechanisms of cardio, strength, HIIT. Where does that leave us on the original question? Which is better?
Well, just as Martinez-Renero suggests,
Yeah.
the answer really is, it depends.
The classic fitness answer.
It is, but it's true. There's no single best for everyone. What works wonders for one person might be completely wrong for another.
So it depends on the individual.
Totally. On your goals, obviously, but also hugely on what you actually like doing, or at least what you can tolerate doing consistently.
Ah, consistency. That's the key, isn't it?
It's everything.
Yeah.
The article really stresses this. Doing something regularly, week after week, is infinitely better than doing the supposedly perfect workout sporadically because you hate it.
Makes sense. If you dread it, you'll find excuses not to do it.
Exactly. So Martinez-Renero's advice leans towards finding activities you enjoy or combining different types of training to keep things interesting.
Variety being the spice of life, and fitness.
Pretty much. Mixing cardio and strength training gives you the benefits of both. Maybe throwing in some HII carefully. It works different energy systems, different muscles, prevents boredom, avoids plateaus.
And enjoying it means you'll stick with it long enough to see results and feel the other benefits too, right? Like better mood, more energy. It's not just about calories.
Absolutely. Exercise does so much more for your overall physical condition and well-being.
Okay, but before we wrap up, there's one more piece Martinez-Renero insists on, and we touched on it earlier, nutrition.
Oh, yeah. Cannot emphasize that enough.
Yeah.
It's the foundation.
You just can't exercise your way out of consistently poor food choices.
Yup. Your body composition ultimately reflects what you eat far more than how you exercise. Exercise is the amazing partner to good nutrition, not a replacement for it.
Got it. So let's quickly summarize the key takeaways from Martinez-Renero's insights then.
Okay. First, weight loss requires a calorie deficit. Exercise helps create it.
Right, point one.
Second, cardio is great for burning calories during the activity. Helps with that deficit.
Okay.
Third, strength training builds muscle, which boosts your resting metabolism, burning more calories all day long, and gives you that EPOC afterburn effect.
Crucial long-term benefit there.
Fourth, HIIT offers big calorie burn and EPOC in potentially less time, but you need to be careful not to overdo it.
Handle with care.
And finally, the absolute bottom line, the best exercise is the one you'll actually do consistently. Variety and enjoyment are key for long-term success and overall health.
So a balanced, consistent approach you can stick with. That seems to be the message.
That's the core of it, yes.
Really useful perspective from Victor Martinez-Renero's article. So as you think about your own fitness plans, we really hope you'll consider these points and maybe move past that simple cardio or weights question.
Yeah, think about the and maybe. What combination works for you? And hey, if you found this We Rise Project deep dive useful,
Please do share it. Pass it along to anyone else wrestling with this question.
and make sure you follow us so you don't miss out on future deep dives.
We'll be back next week with another exploration. Thanks for tuning in.